Get this party started. Okay.
Well, this webinar has started. That means we are on, Mr. Ridgeman.
And it is being recorded. Oh, yes.
Nice. Awesome.
All right.
Wait for people to come in. Hello, everybody. Let me just check the chat here.
Yeah, let's just
4
check.
inches of rain over the last couple of days, really.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
storm.
Oh, that's right. Well, man, it could have been snow, you know?
There you go. Okay, so the chat. Remember, folks, if you're chatting, select everyone in the drop-down.
Yep.
There's...
So, Hubert, I just want to know,
Sure.
man, you got all your Christmas shopping done?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You know how much
Santa's the last minute guy around these parts.
I've done so far?
How much? Well, there you go.
Because I like waiting till the last day so that I can freak out and spend way more money than I'm supposed to.
There you go. Hello from Jim. Jim says from Colorado. This is a Colorado snow report. Had snow here and more tomorrow in Colorado. Hello, by the way. I know, Ridgely, you watched that report very carefully, being the avid skier that you are.
Yes.
So hello, Jim. Hello, Natalie. Hello, Paul. Hello, Scott. Welcome, everybody. Dr. Art, Bob.
In the house, Andrew Dale is here with us today.
Yeah, he's our volunteer for the hot seat today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be bringing him on.
All right. All right, Hubert Lee, what are we doing?
Okay, here we go. Okay, so I have a couple of updates to share. Let me share my latest update into the PAF brain. Okay, and so let's take a look. Let me share my screen. You tell me when you can see my screen. We'll start off with a little show and tell from Hubert.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys can see my screen?
Yep.
So again, folks, don't be shy about taking advantage of the PAF brain that comes with your membership. Okay, you can access it if you haven't set it up yet. It's in the PAF AI vault. Everything that you need to know to set up the account is there. To access it, you simply go to app.partnerattractionformula.ai. You'll get a login screen like this, and when you log in, let me just demonstrate. You can choose on the left side here. Here's a quick tutorial on how to use it. You can either enter a URL or you can enter text. Entering a URL, you simply put the full URL here. Okay, I use this roofing company as my example because I recently had my roof done, and good thing, Ridgely, with 4 inches of rain, I needed a leak-proof roof, and this was the big test, and I passed with flying colors.
That could have been bad.
Yeah, I know.
Bad.
Instead of entering the URL, you could also flip this to text mode, and you can enter text in here. Okay, so you can try prompts and all that sort of thing. I like to use the URL because it's literally one click, which I'll demonstrate in a second. Now, with these different models, you can use GPT 3.5, which I recommend you don't. You can use 4, or you can use 4 Turbo. Somebody asked me what 4 Turbo is, so let me just go to that. Here we go. ChatGPT 4 Turbo is the latest generation model, more capable. And originally, we were talking about this the other day. The cutoff date for the latest is April 2023. So it's rapidly catching up. It lets you put in much more text in a single prompt, although one of our best practices is not to strain that limit. And it's also cheaper to use in terms of tokens and so forth. Okay, so I encourage everybody to always go with the ChatGPT 4. So let me indicate down here. This is the tricky part here for some people. Do not leave this blank. If you just hit submit here, you'll get a big old output, which may be helpful. But what you would do is go through here and select one at a time these things. What I want to point out is the latest one that I created called objections. Okay, so again, enter a URL, choose ChatGPT 4. I chose Turbo and I hit objections, and I ran it a second ago just so that I wouldn't waste your time. So originally, check this out. This is a tool for a small business to use to get a little tutorial on objections and how to handle them in a limbic way, right? So I wrote the prompt so that it first gives you a step-by-step instructions, okay? Step-by-step guide to effectively responding to potential customer objections. So It just tells you listen carefully, acknowledge the concern, clarify, and respond appropriately. Okay. Now, here comes the big juice. Examples of objections and responses. I'm worried about the cost of a new roof. Check this out, Ridgely. I understand that cost is an important factor, blah, blah, blah. And then it gives you example responses, right? And check this part out. You can also sprinkle here in your responses as appropriate, limbic messages in the form of we believe, right? So if you're concerned about pricing, don't worry. We believe in transparency, offering no obligation, free inspections and estimates, right? We believe in standing by our work. You deserve. So originally, we had a dental client a long time ago in Albuquerque, and Frank Montoya, and he was big in drilling his staff into what he called verbal tools for the business. This is an example of that. You can literally, if you ran this roofing company, you can make your sales staff literally memorize and practice handling these objections with these responses, and more importantly, these limbic messages. So originally, what do you think of my latest addition to the
I think
PAF?
that's great. Really great for sales teams. If you have a sales team, if you have a little bit of a bigger company, for example, and you're looking to equip your sales team with potential responses to objections, remember, AI can surface the objection for you before it even comes up. So you're walking into the sales meeting or the sales presentation with that already surfaced. And in fact, we're going to be building some bots. Some people like to call them GPTs. What's the difference between those two? Here, what's the difference between a bot and
The GPT is basically a slang. When you say, "Oh, I'm doing my own custom GPT," what you're actually uh, referring to is officially called the ChatGPT new custom chatbot functionality. And basically, it's pre-programming a flow through a scenario specific to one instance. Like, for example, I could build a chatbot that people can go to learn how to handle objections, right? And you would, in this case, instead of using our PAF brain, where it's one button push, right? Reading your sales page and then surfacing potential objections. Oh, and by the way, those sample objection answers, now that you have them, you can actually make an accordion section on your homepage with FAQs that handle these objections. So talk about using AI to bolster the content on your website. I mean, how cool is that? At one push, the PAF brain will analyze your page, give you FAQ objections that you can then add back to the page. But anyway, to turn the example of this little dialogue that we just did into what a chatbot, custom chatbot would be, is you can set it up so that you provide a link, and then you can have these little things and you prompt them. You can say, enter your objection. And, is it cost, is it whatever? And then they click it. And as it clicks it, it launches your pre-made prompts. So basically, it's just a custom guided way through the ChatGPT experience. As we learned last week. Now, anybody that didn't catch last week's session, our super catch-up AI tutorial, including the latest on custom chatbot training, you should definitely hit the archives and go take a look at that call.
Yeah, for sure, because it's super valuable if you think about anytime you're doing any kind of a presentation for a prospective client, whether you're trying to sell a product, sell a service, sell a whatever, why in the world wouldn't you want to know about them before you go to the presentation? Why in the world wouldn't you want to come across as an expert in their business? Think about the difference. Somebody trying to make a sales pitch using old sales tools versus you using AI to come across as an already existing expert in the business that that your prospect has. Who do you think is going to get the job? Who's going to get that business? Obviously you. And so really, really effective to use these new tools that are coming out right now, literally just the last few weeks, of creating GPTs or bots to be able to do that. And we're going to be showing how to do that here on our upcoming calls. Matter of fact, Natalie is with us today. I see you there. Thanks, Natalie. Really appreciate the new business that you just sent to us. We will be building bots for you to do some of the presentation materials that you need. And it's going to be super cool to show people how we do that kind of stuff, because we'll do it.
That is awesome. Yes. And we'll get into those specifics in a second. But originally, I have to pull us back for a moment. Okay. We have some new members on and all of that. I just want to emphasize the following point. Okay. So let me make this point and then you add to it. So we're all about staying on the cutting edge. Okay, so right now, the cutting edge is simply even getting started with AI and knowing the differences in the nuts and bolts between the different models and so on and so forth. Okay, but our approach in this mastermind is always to bake in a guarantee that you'll stay on the cutting edge. And staying on the cutting edge is not necessarily about the latest tools or any of that. It's basically how to make artificial intelligence serve you from a limbic messaging point of view, right? That's our big differentiator. Right now, you can get proficient in AI and still be way ahead of everybody, right? But you can position yourself ahead of all the other people that are also using AI by teaching your AI and crafting your outputs so that it's a limbic and persuasive. And how do you do that? It's actually part of our partner attraction formula. So while we're all excited about all the current bells and whistles, the core 3 points of the partner attraction formula, originally, I want you to spend a couple of moments here, especially for our new members, walking through the basics of the partner attraction formula, and then talking about how AI can help that. But the back to basics, we had a couple of weeks ago originally, a major webinar with a partner, and he rapidly caught on as he was watching you do your fireworks with the prompts. He says, folks, what's going on here is not simply buying a package of 1,000 prompts and choosing the right one. You'll notice that there's a flow that Ridgely does that's causing a certain reaction in the audience. So Ridgely, can you please break down the partner attraction formula?
Yeah. So again, what are we talking about? There are 3 pieces that we want that you will distance yourself from everybody else if you just include these 3 things on all of your marketing and your messaging. Number 1, limbic message. A limbic or emotional message speaks to the emotional or limbic brain, which is where the decisions are made. So in other words, you're speaking to the decision-making part of the brain. That's part 1. Why do you want to do that? So you get a decision. The best decision is yes. The second best decision is no, because then you're not having your time wasted anymore. And the worst response is let me think about it. How do you get the let me think about it? By speaking to the thinking brain or the neocortex, which is what most people do and why they don't get the kind of responses that they want. So if you can imagine that you can craft, as Hubert was saying earlier, limbic messaging into everything that you do, you're going to get a massive advantage over everybody else. Part 2 is making the copy that you use client or prospect centric or partner centric, if you think of your clients as partners. We want to make sure that it's all about them, so that when they're reading and taking in, or they're listening because it's on a video or an audio to your content, it feels like you're speaking to them. When you write in you language as opposed to in me language or us language, you know that's a terrible song. You've heard it, right? Me, 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 me. I'm gonna write about me, 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 me. No, write to you, write to your prospect, write to your clients. It makes them feel better. Where are decisions made? Again, in the feeling brain. So you have a huge edge. So that's part 2. Part 3 is you want to make sure that the calls to action are clear, that you are literally telling people how to partner with you. What is the next step? And maybe partnering with you, if it's a multi-piece sales approach, maybe the next step is to opt into something. Give your email to get your email, get their emails from, or take the next step by clicking on a form. Or there are a number of ways that people can partner with you. You need to make that super clear. If you do those 3 things, limbic message, partner-centric copy, and clear calls to action, you are automatically standing out above everybody else. So those are the fundamental basics. We always want to remember those. And I want to do a little quick demo here of something that came up with literally yesterday. I know many of you know that I do a thing called Groove Growth with Groove Digital. That's Mike Filsame's company, whereby I put out content every week in personal development and personal growth. And if you're not using this content, if you don't have this content, Hubert, could you please grab my YouTube link? And you can just pop over to YouTube, subscribe, and then you'll get all the content. So, and please do that. You want to get this content. It's great. I do a thing called Lessons from the CEO, which is literally an interview with a CEO about principles of success. Really, really valuable. So Hubert's going to pop the link in the chat for you so you can go and check this out. Now, I want to show you something. So I did in 2022, I came up with 12 themes for the months of the year for our personal development, personal growth program. In 2023, I did the same thing. I came up with them from my own brain. It was early in 2023, right? Or at the end of 2022. And ChatGPT had just barely begun, and it didn't occur to me that I could use that. So yesterday morning, I'm on a call, and somebody says, well, we need the themes for 2024. I'm like, oh man, really? Another thing on my list, whatever. And one of the guys on the call says, well, you could use ChatGPT. And so literally yesterday, I had like an 8-minute window in between conference calls. And I thought, well, of course I can use ChatGPT and go and open AI and get this done because it's going to be way faster. So what did I do? I went on there, and I want to point this out. So here are my themes in 2022: goals and dreams, optimism and attitude, fitness and health, leadership and encouragement, motivation, etc. Then I have my themes in 2023: beginnings, examination, preparation, discovery and anticipation, opportunity, blossoming, etc. So I started out with, you're an expert copywriter charged with coming up with monthly themes for a personal development program. In 2022, there were this. In 2023, there were that. Based on this history, what themes can you suggest for 2024? So it's not coming up with independent themes. It's looking at what I've already done, taking all of that information in, and then it responded, for 2024, considering the themes from the past 2 years, it would be beneficial to introduce themes that build upon previous concepts while introducing fresh perspectives to keep the personal development program engaged and relevant. Here are my suggestions. And it went and it gave me a whole series of suggestions with a reason behind it for each of these that is way better than I would have come up with.
That's awesome.
Way
I see.
better.
Yeah, it's some great ideas here.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that, why, and oh, by the way, what would have taken me an hour to figure out took me like 5 minutes by using the tool. So we always want to be asking ourselves, hey, what else can I do? Where else can I use this? It's so much faster. Look at this, May, resilience and adaptability, building the ability to bounce back from setbacks and adapt to change. Man, that gives me a whole theme for the month. Way more than just a word that I come up with because I thought it was cute, right? July, mindfulness and serenity, focusing on the practice of mindfulness and finding inner peace. Perfect for summer. October, gratitude and generosity. Then you go to December, unity and festivity, celebrating the year's achievements and the spirit of unity during the festive season. These themes are designed to inspire and guide participants through a journey of personal growth, offering a well-rounded approach to self-improvement and development throughout the year. So then I said, okay, now give me a famous quote that is reflective of the program. Certainly, a quote that encapsulates blah, blah, blah is by the renowned poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou. I love her stuff. I've learned that I still have a lot to learn. So my quote of 2024 is, I've learned that I still have a lot to learn, and all of my themes are right there for the annual
awesome.
development program, all done in under 10 minutes.
That's awesome. Richly, I have an idea. Just ask it also for each month to come up with a quote, and then that way you can extend that quote idea to each month.
Now watch how fast that happens. Great. Now give me a famous quote for each month that is relevant to the topic of that month.
And we all know how long this would take to do manually.
Oh my gosh, it'd be ridiculous. Here we go. And look how fast this is. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the only person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be. That's renewal and reflection. Connection and empathy. Alfred Adler says, empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. That's great.
This is great. I have to share a story about you, Ridgely, to the others here. One of the things that I most admired about you when we first met is Ridgely had a series of little notebooks that he kept through his life that are jam-packed in a multiple volume of his favorite quotes. Now, Ridgely has spent a lifetime writing down, quotes. And so I know this is right up his alley because now he has at his disposal the ultimate quote notebook.
Right?
Ridgely, open that up and bring it close to the camera just to give us a flavor of how you collect these quotes. There you go.
Just like that. So I open on this one. It says, life is a series of collisions with the future. It is not the sum of what we have been, but what we yearn to be. From Ortega y Gasset. That's one of the books that I filled up. Here's another one that I filled up. And not only that, I have the Success Training Network, all their quotes, Zig Ziglar's, all his quotes, Jim Rohn, all his quotes, Jim Rohn's quotes in Spanish, powerful quotes for the leads. You think I like quotes? I like quotes.
You sure do. Oh, you know what? Hit the green button. You crashed this thing.
I know, man. I know. It happens. Okay.
Well,
So
that's
anyway,
awesome. That's some great stuff. I just want to catch up on the chat here. Jim with a great comment here. Can they, machine learning, now distinguish between a dog and a cupcake? Okay, so what Jim's referring to, folks, is
you got to bring it up, man. You got to bring it up.
Can you stop your share there? And I'll just, okay. So folks, as you know, there's nothing more boring than a reminder email, right? And so what I do is I send an initial email that's just a straight email a couple of days before or the day before. Then the day of, instead of just having a blah, 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 blah reminder, right? I always put like a funny meme in here, okay? And so this one is how to confuse machine learning. So remember, folks, from last time, what we said was ChatGPT is great for text output now. Okay, it'll give you stunningly well-crafted text. It's horrible still, AI, for image generation. You'll get all kinds of weirdness. And why? It's because of this. When we look at this, we can instantly tell the difference between a chihuahua and a muffin with blueberries on it. But for AI, it has a horrible time trying to figure out which one's a chihuahua dog and which one's a muffin with blueberries on top, right? So anyway, thank you for referencing that, Jim. So be sure to check all your emails because I try to put little gems like this on there as well. Terry says, I do appreciate those. Thank you. Paul, great stuff. Bill, I love it. And Linda, so good. Thank you, everybody. So
Federico's got a question here. He says, how do we travel the fine line between delivering value during a client presentation as a way of showing we play in another league versus giving the customer the solution they need and making ourselves irrelevant by giving them the answer they would normally get after they become a client? So, Hubert, what are your thoughts on that? I have some definite thoughts.
I know you have some thoughts, and I have thoughts as well. And this goes back to the theme, what I spoke about in terms of the partner attraction formula. Okay, so neither I nor Ridgely are AI cutting edge whiz bang techno gurus. Okay, we can't write the algorithms. We don't even bother training the algorithms. What we do is bring our own expertise, years of business, and more importantly, years of writing persuasive copy and messaging for businesses. And we bring that and show you the best practice way of using these cutting edge tools to get what you want done. Okay, so it's not about having the client buy a package of 1,000 AI prompts and letting them go willy-nilly. Because any day of the week, when Ridgely or I run a prompt sequence, we get the feedback of, wow, how did you make that do that? Because they tried and it doesn't come out that way. Now, it doesn't come out that way because Ridgely and I have spent years doing this manually without AI. And so we're just merely using AI as a tool to kind of power that. So it's not so much the AI per se, it's what you're doing with the AI.
Yeah, and that dovetails perfectly into exactly what I want to talk about now, which is a live example. We have Andrew Dale with us. Andrew has been in the pin creating business, lapel pins, all kinds of pins. He's had a company creating pins for many, many years. He's a complete expert in all things pins. And so Andrew contacted Hubert and I and said, hey, I'm looking at restarting a new pin business and I'm trying to come up with a name. And he had a number of really good ideas. And then, so we got on the phone and Hubert and I had a debate of the value of his choice and my choice. So there are the choices. I like designyourpins.com. Hubert's likes custompinstudio.com. So we had a debate. So first, we're going to give you the Hubert and Ridgely debate about this. But then we're going to go to AI and we're going to why because this is the whole thing about thinking like a business person. Why in the world would you think that your opinion is as good as this gigantic brain that can come up with all kinds of takes on it? And I have not done this. Open I on.
Nice,
Oh,
good
yeah,
one,
there we
good one,
go.
Linda.
And really important to think like this because you're going to see how many perspectives we can get on this from AI.
Yeah,
So first,
and then we'll bring Andrew on, and then we'll also what we'll do originally is you can demonstrate how to use the AI sequences that we use to kind of flesh out all the copy he needs for his new website. That'd be awesome.
yeah, for sure. So, all right, Hubert. So why do you like custompinstudio.com?
Okay, so mine was an SEO reason primarily. And by the way, Andrew Dale, the name may sound familiar because we've gushed about him in the past. He's our secret SEO expert that we'll be bringing on also to the mastermind to teach you some of the cutting edge things about SEO. I mean, this man is a guru, and it was from that perspective. So I every time I think of Andrew, I think of pins, yes, second custom pins, but I think of him as an SEO ace. So I said, oh, custompinstudio.com is very clever from an SEO perspective because one of the main keywords is custom pins, right? And this URL, custompinstudio.com, actually has embedded in it the keyword custom pins. So immediately that gave me an edge over design your pins. And so, that's why I voted that way. Originally?
Yeah. Whereas for me, thinking always about partner-centric copy or prospect-centric copy or client-centric copy, I like design your pins because it speaks to the person like you're going to be involved in designing your pins. So Hubert had a very technical reason. And by the way, custom pin and custom pins are both in that URL. And I
Yeah,
had
you get that
very
the two for special.
And I had a very personal reason, more about getting decisions made in favor of the URL. So I'd love for you guys to weigh in. But then what we're going to do is we're going to, thank you, Linda. I appreciate you. See, Linda's with me. Okay, just saying. But why is that? Because she's a very emotional person. Her mind type is a giver. And so there you go. But we're gonna take this over to ChatGPT and we're just going to create a new chat and we're going to go explore this right now. So hold on, let me share my screen. And again, if you're watching, think of your ability to do this with anything. In other words, doing research, thinking about something. Natalie sent me a great poem that she wrote using an Edgar Allan Poe derivative with using AI and some really cool graphics. Great work, Natalie, by the way. So now what am I going to do? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell AI who I want AI to be. So I'm going to say,
Richly, actually, before you start, do you mind bringing Andrew on as panelist? That way you can copy and paste as he needs to from the chat directly and so forth.
Yeah, I was doing that already. I'm sorry. Let me just do that real quick. I
And
thought,
and Terry is asking who's our SEO person, and that in fact is Andrew Dale. We
okay.
proudly
So,
have him on our team, and here is Andrew Dale.
all right. So here we go. So the first thing you got to do is you have to tell AI who it is that you are looking for it to be. So we're going to say here, you are an expert marketer and copywriter with deep expertise. You can repeat words, that's fine. In the lapel, pin, and other pins businesses. You have been tasked with figuring out the best URL for a new pin business. The two top contenders are designyourpins.com and custompinstudio.com.
I'm sorry, let's just clarify with Andrew. Is it design your pins plural or design your pin singular?
We actually got both.
Oh, okay.
So we got design your pin and design your pins, and actually that was originally suggestion, which was a great suggestion.
No, originally it's not Rich. It's not that one that has plurality. It's the first one. So
Correct.
it's not custom pins studio. It's design your pin and design your pins.
Well, leave it like this.
Okay.
Okay. So, run an analysis to determine which of these two is likely to generate more business for the business owner. Now, normally I'd make the prompt much more complex than this, but let's just run it simply and see what we get so we can use this as an educational
Do
process.
you want to add it? Do you want to ask it to explain why too?
Yeah, we'll do that too. Brand identity and messaging. All right.
Yes.
Search engine
Customer
optimization.
involvement. That's why you like it.
So there we go. Memorability and clarity. Uh-huh. As you can see, a good URL should be easy to remember, clearly convey with the business. Both URLs are clear, but design your pins is slightly more direct in communicating the offer. Target audience. Understanding the target audience is crucial. If the business aims to attract customers who want a hands-on approach, design your pins might be more appealing. If the target is more toward customers who want a professional service, Custom Pin Studio could be better. These are really important things because what is it doing now? It's surfacing questions that Andrew can ask himself, like, hey, who is my target audience, right? And then it says market trends, competitor analysis, analyzing competitors and current market trends can provide insights into what works well in the industry. This requires research. Domain availability, branding consistency, social media and marketing. Consider how it will look in marketing, media, social media. Shorter, catchy URLs often perform better. Future expansion, think about long-term goals. So now it gives you an analysis. Given these factors, both URLs have their strengths. Designyourpins.com might appeal more to a DIY, do-it-yourself, customer-involved market, while Custom Pin Studio suggests a more professional, full-service approach. The final decision should align with the business's overall branding strategy and target audience preferences. So, Andrew, who do you think is your bigger audience?
So my bigger audience is really people that when they'll put a quote in, we'll ask them what style lapel pin they want, and most of them say, "I leave it up to you guys. You guys are the experts." That's the largest response that we get back. We are full service, so basically somebody could write something down on a napkin, draw something on a napkin and take a picture of it and send it over. And we would convert the whole thing into artwork, just get their approval and put it into production and make it. So I love the design your pins because I thought that there was a lot of brandability in there. I thought that when I made videos or whatever else, I could end all the different videos with, so let's go ahead and design your pins, like sort of like a clever, bring it all, wrap it all right back up together.
Mhm.
I did like the custom pins studio too, for the same reason that Hubert did, because I am all about SEO and I loved it for that reason, but also for the reason that it sounded like a full studio that basically took care of everything. I'm still in a quandary because I still love the branding of Design Your Pins, but I do like the thought process behind
So
custom
Andrew,
pin
can I
studio.
reveal? I'm sorry to interrupt,
Sure.
Andrew. Can I reveal to Ridgely and the rest of the audience what I told you most recently with my update? So Ridgely, I said this to Andrew. Why not use both and create two separate websites? Since he's an SEO master, he can actually, get double the mileage and make designyourpins.com more about the design aspect where, they are heavily involved in designing it. And then make the custom pin studio more of the boutique one. And in fact, you could stack them so that designyourpins.com is all about the design. And then they say that, they'll get it fulfilled with the most excellent fulfillment partner in the industry, which is custompinstudio.com. So Andrew, I had given him the idea of actually doing both.
Yeah, not only that, you could also have two front ends that take advantage of the same back end, right? So for example, one is design your pins, which is, as Hubert discussed, more toward that do-it-yourselfer. The other is Custom Pin Studio, more toward the professional people. But when you click on a button to go into where somebody actually does the work, it could be the same button for both. It could take, so you have two front ends targeting different audiences, but the back end could actually be the same all the way to the checkout itself. So literally two front ends could target two different audiences, and the entire execution piece of either one of these could be on the back end, right? So, all right, so given that, let's talk about building the assets like we were talking about here a minute ago. Hubert mentioned this. So Andrew, your call, you want it done for Design Your Pins or Custom Pin Studio? Pick one.
Let's go with design your pins, and then I think that I really might go the route that Hubert said, because I think that it's the best of both worlds.
Right.
And I agree. I agree originally that you know both both sites could target two different types of audiences and all funnel into the same back end.
Yep, great. Now, Andrew, before we begin, Ridgely, before you leave that screen, I just wanted to show this to the new members. In your mastermind portal, there will be a tile that says Ridgely's private prompt library. Be sure you access it, because this is not merely a collection of prompts. It's the sequencing of the prompts and how they build on each other that's truly important. You're going to see how Ridgely do this, but it starts with the very powerful, the building your prompt kind of thing. As Linda, thank you, Linda, is too kind. Linda dropped that it's gold. Okay, so be sure to take a look at Ridgely's private prompts.
Yeah, so again, let's take a look now. We're going to drop this in here, and we're going to say the products or services are lapel pins and all types of pins. And because this has been really well thought out, and this is, by the way, in Ridgely's prompts right here, you just go initial prompt example, existing website, right? So that, sorry, new website. This is new website is where we are, because it's a brand new website. Back into ChatGPT, run the prompt, and watch how fast people, Hubert, can you answer Terry's question in the
Sure.
chat? Watch how fast ChatGPT comes up with content for the website from scratch. Now, think about how long it would take you to build a website in the old days. Here we go, homepage. Transforming ordinary attire into extraordinary statements with our premium lapel pins. Subhead, and it's going to give us a number. There's an About Us page, our story, what's that look like, meet the team, mission and values, CTA. It's giving you a whole methodology of laying out, in other words, a roadmap to lay out the entire website, multiple different pages. So what is the first thing we're going to do here? You know what it is. We're going to go back to the prompt library and we're going to say, okay, great. That's very, very cool. Limbic prompt. We need limbic messages. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to grab that first limbic prompt. I'm going to go back into this. I'm going to let it finish running. I'm going to post the prompt right there, ready to roll. And in no time flat, what used to take an entire workshop and then voting about it and then discussing it and arguing who likes the favorite, and obviously having to give preferential treatment to whoever is the big boss of that organization, whatever that is, because that's the intelligent business thing to do. Instead of doing all that, we get this done super, super fast. So let's take a look. We're at the Contact Us page. Just
That's
about
great.
done.
Now, while Ridgely has this next prompt queued up, before you hit it, Ridgely, I just want to talk about how this prompt limbifies it.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so folks, when you access Ridgely's private prompts, pay particular attention to the elements that he's enabling the AI to speak emotionally on the Limbic messaging. Okay, this is the big light bulb that we've not seen anywhere else. Like, you're teaching ChatGPT in this session the concept of limbic messaging, and once you drop this in there, then the tone of it becomes remarkably different.
Here we go. Watch what happens. Great. Let's get some limbic messages. And again, these are all coming from scratch. This is amazing. You can do this. We believe statements. We believe every pin tells a story of personal triumph and unique style. How good is that?
Yeah, no, I like that.
I'm telling you, right? I mean, this is great. And of course, we have a prompt. We'll come back to those in just a second, but we have a second prompt. Let's rank these in terms of which we think are going to be the most effective in building, leading a prospect to want to use business and buy the products. So again, I love this. You deserve a pin that's as unique and remarkable as you are. I mean, that's both limbic and partner centric, Hubert Lee. How about that? Right?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
And the nice part is that everybody in this industry, it's been the same. It's been the same for, gosh, the last 20 years. And there's nobody that's doing anything even remotely close to this. Most of the pin sites, even my own, they all just kind of follow the same boring, the same boring layout and everything else. And this honestly is a game changer as far as nobody else in the industry is doing anything remotely like this. So I am sure that you have people on here who they have an industry where nobody's doing anything even remotely close to what you guys are doing as well. So this is awesome.
And so now we're ranking these in order of being the most effective. We believe in turning everyday accessories into symbols of identity and pride. We believe every pin tells a story of personal triumph and unique style. We believe that quality craftsmanship speaks louder than words. Love that. You deserve a pin that's unique and as remarkable as you are. I love this. This is great, great stuff. So now what else can we do to really jazz up the website? I'm going to take this and I'm going to say far out. Now, where would you put these limbic messages? What pages would you select for each of them? And why would you put that particular message on that page? So again, so Terry, what happens when you find 4 of these taglines and can't choose which one you like the most? You ask AI which one is going to be the most effective at accomplishing the objective you're looking for. So let's say, okay, good. Where are we going to put these messages? So there we go. Selecting the most suitable limbic message for each web page involves aligning the emotional appeal of the message with the primary purpose and content of the page. Here's the selection. So we go with, on the home page, we believe every pin tells a story of personal triumph and unique style. Why? Because this is the first point of contact with visitors. It instantly communicates the core value of personalization and the emotional significance of the products, enticing visitors to explore further, right? You just keep on going. You deserve a pin that's as remarkable as you are. Rationale. The products page should highlight the uniqueness and quality of the items. This message speaks directly to the customer, making them feel special and understood. Okay, it's going to keep on going, doing all this. Well, we're not done yet. We're then going to go to the partner-centric prompt. Really good work. Let's keep going. Now review all the copy on the site and ensure that it's focused on the client, not the business. The company. Let's make sure all the main pages have a limbic message, and below the rest of the site is written in you language. So let's do that next. And you can see that we're literally crafting a really good website, at least the copy for it, in no time flat. Okay.
That's following that proven formula, that partner attraction formula.
Here we go. So there we
And
go.
Ridgely and Hubert, this was the reason why I wanted to start over from scratch again, is because of the fact that when I was talking to Hubert, I had said, listen, I said, with all of my knowledge of AI and all of my knowledge and the mistakes that I made previously and my knowledge of the industry, I said, with AI, this is going to ramp so much bigger than anything that I've ever done before. And the company I did before was pretty massive. But I believe, and this was almost a test to see how well AI is going to do. I said, with the assistance of AI and AI doing a lot of the work, I guarantee you that this is going to blow what I had out of the water in no time flat. Because the amount of blog posts that will be written, the amount of video scripts that will be written, everything, and the amount of content that can be produced, totally trumps anything that I would ever have been able to do in the past. So I just can't wait to see how fast it happens.
Yeah. Now I do want to add also, Andrew, on your behalf, something that you told me yesterday that I pushed back on, and the reason why, and originally Andrew had said to me, well, you know, anybody can start a pin business. And I pushed back on Andrew and I said, dude, you've brought in millions in your pin industry, in your pin business, and you know actually what it takes on the fulfillment side and what you can promise and not promise on the front end. And so we always like to acknowledge the subject matter expertise of the business owner. That value you can't find anywhere. Like really, like how many years have you been in the pin business, Andrew?
20 plus.
20 plus years, Ridgely. So what he tells us that we put into the machine is not random stuff from some guy on the street. That's my point. It's that our approach to AI is magnifying the business owner's special expertise.
Now look at this. Look at this right here. About us. We picture a world where every pin tells a unique personal story. Then from there, right below, your story is our inspiration. Meet the team dedicated to bringing your personal style to life, crafting each pin with care and precision just for you. That's the About Us page. What do most About Us pages say? Andrew Dale is an awesome pin dude with 20 years of experience doing
that's what every pin company does. You're 100% right.
Cares. It's about them. Look at how good this copy is, right? I'll just pick any one other. Testimonials. We believe in celebrating individuality through each custom design pin. Hear from people just like you who found their perfect pin. Their stories are a testament to the joy and uniqueness that a personalized pin can bring. This is so good. It is so good, right? So
this, like I said, this copy blows away anything I would have written myself, and B, anything that's out there on any other site in my industry. I mean, it just absolutely blows it out of the water. Now, I will craft a couple of little SEO things that I will add. Like, for instance, I might need to add a word or two into the limbic messaging, right? But that is like 1% of everything, just to double check everything and make sure that everything is good, and maybe stick another the word personalized in or something like that, just because I want to hit that keyword for SEO purposes. But man, I wouldn't have been able to write this stuff myself. Period. The end. And I've been doing SEO. Gosh, guys, I've been doing SEO since pre-Google. Like we called it "Get My Website Found." Back in the early and mid '90s. So I would never be able to write content like this ever.
Look at this. Long social media posts. Discover the story behind every pin. Ever imagine a pin that's more than just an accessory? At Design Your Pins, we craft each lapel pin to tell your unique story, from the meticulous design, blah, blah, blah. Dive into our world of exquisite pins and find the one that resonates with you, etc., etc. This is super crazy. Look how fast this is.
Oh my gosh.
And then even the hashtags. Hashtag personal style, hashtag lapel pin love, hashtag special promotion. Right? Now, okay, Andrew, so we're just going to mess with you. Great.
That's all good.
Now, give us 3 short social media posts that are Christmas themed and full of emojis. Again, I'm encouraging everybody by writing these things, just think, what else can the tool do?
And Ridgely, I'll just throw a little tip in there for anybody who is a small business owner and has Google business profiles. Google loves emojis, and they say that posts that go out on the Google business profile with emojis get clicked on. I forget what the amount of more times that it gets clicked on than one that doesn't. So yes, absolutely great that you said throw in emojis.
Notice I left the audience mistake typing, doesn't matter. AI can read it anyway. So now we're writing humorous Christmas social media posts. Santa's got a new look this year. Swap the red hat for our snazzy Christmas lapel pins. Be more stylish than Mr. Claus at your holiday party. Rudolph's red nose, outdated. It's all about our shiny lapel pins this Christmas. Light up the room brighter than a Christmas tree. Hashtag Rudolph who? Hashtag shiny and bright. Forget the ugly Christmas sweater. It's all about the bling. Check out our hilarious, right? Look at this, bro. Incredible, right? Okay.
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Now,
I mean, to think about it, like this has been what, Ridgely, has it been what, 15 minutes?
Second video.
Yeah, can you believe the amount of work that's being done?
Homepage.
In 15 minutes, and it only took this long also because Ridgely kind of explaining everything as we go, right? So I mean, it would actually be faster than this. So this is absolutely nuts.
All right, here we go. Now we got a 60-second video script that's being written here for you, Andrew, so that you are ready to rock and roll and get a video going. We got Federico on the call. He can help you.
We don't just create lapel pins. We craft symbols of identity, moments, and memories. That was a good one.
Yes. But originally, I am going to clone myself at some point during this process.
There you go. So
I'm going to make it even faster.
Okay. All right. So now give us another version of the video script that is funny and written in a style of, who's your favorite rapper, Andrew?
Geez, I don't really have a favorite rapper. Yeah, that would be a tough one. I don't know, maybe Eminem. We'll put down Eminem.
Eminem.
It reminds me of chocolate.
Style of Eminem and rhymes perfectly. Here we go. Now this is crazy, right? Eminem style rhyming script for 60 seconds that can be fun and engaging to present your business. Here's a playful take. Open a whimsical, colorful background with a variety of lapel pins on display. A catchy, upbeat rhythm starts playing. Yo, listen up. Here's the tale, not grim, about lapel pins. Let's dive right in. Got an outfit that's bland, just a plain old thing? Add a pin from us. Watch it bling, bling in our studio where magic is spun. Crafting pins, second to none. From boardroom to the street, our pins don't just sit. They speak of style, wit, and a bit of grit. In a world of fashion duels, be keen. Arm yourself with a pin. Be the scene's queen or king. Click on our site. Take a tour. Find your pin. Open new doors. Design your pins the name, bringing flair to your game. Check us out. Never again the same.
Nice.
Oh my God, we're gonna
You're
bring
gonna have
Ridgely
to
to 8
license. You're gonna have to
He's like,
license Ridgely as your pin rap artist.
he's like 8 Mile right there, man. He just freaking he went to town.
All right. So right, people, this is what's available to you. You just gotta think, what else can I do? Could it do this? Could I do that? Next week, we're gonna really go a little deeper on the bot creating stuff because we have this project. Again, thanks to Natalie, who's on the call with us, new mastermind member. Her company is the one that gave us this project. So we're going to go into that and share how the process works. And so Scott's asking, can AI make music or songs we can also use in our marketing? The answer is 100%. Because remember, it is iterating new content here. Now,
Right. It's generating it on demand.
It's generating on demand. If I wanted to be totally safe, I might have said, give us that is written in a style that is similar to Eminem or Jay-Z or so-and-so and make it rhyme perfectly. So that then they can't really give me some copyright issue. If I wanted to be even safer, I might say modern day rap style in the style of current artists of 2023. And that way, I'm not even using a name Eminem or Jay-Z or whoever, right? So you can absolutely do that because the content that is created is original. Now, if you took, this is a little tricky, if you took existing music of somebody, fed that into the tool, and used that to create something, the jury's out. In other words, it's not clear whether or not that will pass muster. It hasn't really been regulated all that heavily as of yet, but certainly the lyrics, 100% you can. So, Hubert Lee, what is we have, I think we're on next Thursday next week, right? I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Last mastermind session before Christmas.
I believe so, but let me check.
Hey, Ridge, before you delete that, would you be able to just copy?
No. We don't delete anything.
If you
No.
could copy
Andrew,
that,
I'll work with you to extend that chat session, and then we'll
that's
get
great.
you the link access to it.
Awesome. And guys, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate this. As you both know, I was so excited about this, yet at the same time, I was like, hopefully my two most trusted, my two most trusted friends that I just respect and everything else, but maybe they'll be able to throw a little love my way and make this a little bit easier on me. And man, let me just tell you, you guys know I love AI, but you guys have taken this to a brand new level.
So
happy to do it. We'll come back and show the audience what we've done after we get some websites up and so forth. Next meeting is the 27th.
No, it's 21st, isn't it?
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong week. It's the 21st at 2 p.m. So that's a Thursday, December 21st at 2 p.m.
Yep. So 2 p.m. Eastern time, people.
Eastern,
so that's
yes.
11 o'clock Pacific. Andrew, grab that URL, grab that link from the chat because that contains all your content. You got it? Okay, hopefully it does. Okay, cool. So thank you, everybody. Really appreciate the participation. We'll end on time for a change, and we hardly ever do, but that's okay. All good. And bring us your stuff. Bring it just like Andrew did. We want to work on your content. Next week, we're going to work on some of Natalie's stuff, possibly some of Steve Black. Remember Steve Black? stuff who couldn't be here today, but really, really awesome to have everybody on board and to keep doing this with you. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. I'm looking forward to it. All right, guys. Rest in peace, boiling water. You will be missed.
Nice, Jim. Good one.
You got to count on Jim for stuff like that. All right, man. See you later, everybody. Have a great one. Ciao for now.